Ready or not, here we come.
Here we go.
Good evening, Melrosians the world over. I'm Tom Catalini.
I'm Jen LeClaire. You're on mute.
I'm Tom Shampoo.
Sam is speechless. What's happening?
He is
I'm a mess.
Sam Hammer is a mess, and this is Let's Talk Melrose, a show where Melrosians talk to Melrosians about Melrose, and it's just tough for Sam because she is now a rock star.
Oh,
That's true.
Look at that.
Right?
Totally.
Did people go to Porch Fest this weekend?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With all of
I was
you.
there.
So, yeah.
Yes.
What a big event. It was a nail biter, right? Because the weather was on, it was off, you watching the news. And so everybody is trying to figure out what's going to happen because there's 30, 40, 50 host porches. There's dozens and dozens of acts. There's a few acts at each porch. And I got some friends in a band coming from out of town, Boutte and the brothers coming in. And so I'm watching the weather, and it's really hard to read. I'm watching the news. I'm like, I don't think this is going to happen. So what do? I text my friend Tom Shampoo, the Melrose weatherman I can count on. And he says, you know what? I think it's going to be dry all day. Maybe a little rain in the morning because I really think it's going to be dry all day. And that's exactly what happened.
It was just perfect.
It was so good and
You
full
knew
of
it.
people. Like everywhere you walk.
Everywhere you went.
I barely made it past 4 blocks, but there were people out everywhere, swarmed everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So it made me think. And then there are folks you could all over the city who couldn't make it to other parts of the city because you just kind of get stuck happily in your area.
And your little
So
pod. Yeah.
Which is good because you don't want people driving around. We could walk. People were walking and on bikes. So
Then I'm like, how do we just keep this thing to a year? Do we need to do it more often? Do we need to segment it a little bit more? I was just trying to if this were to just continue to grow.
Right. I'm going to pull a page from the John Hammer book, which is let's get this outside.
Marry up, very fabulous people.
yes, that
Of
too.
course. No, but let's get bands out in front of people more often. It's such a great thing to do. It's so much fun visiting people at their houses, but also just sort of chatting away. We were at one of the houses and the police came by on the street, and there's about 150 people outside on the street. But they just make sure everything's safe and everyone's happy. And then, so it's a great event. I love everything about it. It's a fantastic way to meet new people and hear some great music. So.
Yeah,
it was good. I would definitely be into that, having it more often.
More often, or imagine if there were mechanisms in place or things in place where it could happen kind of spontaneously. Like if there's busking somewhere, or if there's an event at Memorial Hall, there's musicians that can play outside as people are walking in. I mean, it's not hard to sort of pepper our experiences with things like that if you make it possible. So yeah.
And then Porch Fest is fantastic. So I had a chance to play. I got to see Sam Hammer perform. We had some friends and family from out of town come in, and it's just the weather was fantastic. And the only shame in it is you really just can't go and see everything. Sam got around quite a bit because I saw the posts, disco bands over at the Sampsons, and it just looks like so much fun. And so it's like I had so much fun where I was, but I also saw everybody else post, and that seemed interesting, including the Melrose High Band had a whole band competition we talked about on the show last week. And I think, Jen, did you make it? You and Sam made it down there?
We did, yeah.
Oh, and Tom, you did too. I'm the only one who didn't make it.
Can I say one more thing about Porch Fest before we move on to that real quick? One of the things, too, that I love about this is that it's a showcase of Melrose talent, and other bands from surrounding towns come to our community to play and spend money here and participate. So you sort of get both of that, where we celebrate and support our local talent, and we also invite other talent to kind of come to Melrose. That's
oh my God.
Cool
So
thing.
I got to see Ray Liriano, the Ray Liriano experience, who comes from out of town, and they come from Boston to play at the Porch that we played at. And it was so much fun. They're just such a cool band, very talented. And then Ray's daughter got up and sang, and they covered like an AC/DC TNT song and just hammed it up. It was just so much fun. Everybody up and dancing around. Anyway, great point, Jen.
It was cool. So love to support it, and shout out. We have to thank the Melrose and the Massachusetts Cultural Council, and also Wakefield Cooperative Bank, who both sponsored it. And yes, these are these are all volunteers, all volunteer event that put this together. That is the crew who can. These guys, thank you.
Thank you all,
amazing,
everybody. It's a fantastic event.
He looks like he's like in charge. He's like he's in that moment.
Right. Right.
I mean, it's like fantastic.
I've conquered face.
Actually, he looks kind of confused.
What if he's just walking by?
Like, wait, why am I in this photo?
Maybe he's just walking by at the right time. What's going on
he's
here?
Like, wait, what's happening?
Well, I mean, give the guy a break. He's an organizer. He's a performer. You know,
he played 3 hours.
Yes.
He played,
and organized a lot of the capturing of all the video footage with
true
MTV.
True words, Scott Barani.
BT.
And then
Okay, so
the marching band.
The band,
Yeah, the high school band.
So that was pretty spectacular.
It was awesome.
We were able to have dinner there thanks to the concessions.
Because you went because there was no time between.
Now tell me about this. This was a competition of sorts, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
It was
very good. Now I feel like I was there. You guys are so descriptive. It's like I was there.
I feel like I'm there right now. It was 12 high school bands, I believe. Last year they had 22. They had quite a bit more, or 2 years ago. But this year they had 12 high school bands, I believe, and then they had 2 college level bands. BU was there, and also UMass Lowell. And at one point, the announcer who was doing the kind of color commentary over the loudspeaker mentioned that when the college bands were starting, he said, "Now you'll hear mature lungs," and because they play louder and harder. And
that's a good name for a band, by the way.
Mature lungs.
Yeah.
But it was true. The college bands they do have some power, and they do have some kind of fun experience that was just really added to the evening. But the whole thing was a great night. I thought it was fantastic. Good job, everybody.
You know what I learned. So there were two things that I learned about. 3 things that I learned about this. So the bands are divided into different divisions depending on the size of the band, which is cool. So that some schools with smaller participation or smaller bands aren't judged against these giant schools with like 100 kids, because it makes a difference, like visually what you're seeing, and obviously the sound. So there's different divisions, just like there are with sports. They also have these cool sort of internal kind of cultural things that pop up, like when they read the scores, everybody in the stands, they read the scores twice, and everybody in the stands, the second time they read the numbers, that they sort of chant back the numbers. So it's this like weird, silly, like kitschy thing that they do that I was like, oh, I love that stuff. And then I already forgot the third thing. I forgot the third thing that I learned. I learned something else.
They can compete against themselves, right? So they get a score that's based on very specific things.
Right. That was it. Yeah.
And then they can, regardless of where they fall amongst the other bands and placement, they can kind of work on improving themselves. And all of these notes were provided by the Band-Aider herself, Jessie Dugan. So thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
all volunteers. Yeah. They get qualitative feedback.
Now, how do you think I would do if I got out there with maybe the megaphone and the air horn, pull off 10, 12 minutes, standing ovation?
It's made for you. It's made for you, Tom Kelly.
A division. You'd be in a division all your own, and that's probably not a lie.
That's what you want to do in life. You want to be in your own division so that you can be number one.
Yeah. You can
outstanding in a field.
Right.
If I went up by myself, I would be
outstanding in a field.
Yeah, that's where we would be.
Go. I think I want to see Tom play the spoons and like the kazoo or something. That would be great. I think
kazoo's an underrated instrument.
We have at our house an electric kazoo, actually.
Wow.
Because
didn't know there was such a thing.
Yeah, you can actually plug it into an amp.
Electric kazoo. That sounds like we should get into the news.
Well, it's probably broken now.
We're not hearing it.
What? You're not hearing that?
No, we don't hear it.
We'll never know what to do if we don't hear this.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, wait a minute. So we're audio problems. So let's go to this one. That one works.
All right. Fix It's been fixed.
Oh God!
All right, news.
All right. So the news. Speaking of the electric kazoo, how do you power that thing, Jen? Jenny Electric.
boy.
Look at that.
Jenny, yeah, I'm almost Jenny electrified. So if anyone today heard that gigantic crack of lightning today, and you're wondering what it hit, that would be my house, actually. Our garage got hit by lightning in the storm this afternoon. And it wiped out. Everybody's fine, first of all, but it wiped out. It was first of all, it was the loudest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
The whole house shook. Just
Who was
Dave and I were
home?
Just me and Dave.
You and Dave were home, and then
Yeah.
what did you think happened? Like,
Oh, and you knew it was lightning. And you knew it was close, but
you didn't know how.
So here's the crazy thing, Dave. So Dave Martin actually would like it to go on record that he was the closest human being to that lightning strike because he was standing at the kitchen window looking out into our backyard and out at the garage.
And did he see it? Yeah, did he see it hit?
Well, he saw it was such a flash that he couldn't tell where it came from. So to his eye, it was, and this is kind of part of the sort of funny story. To his eye, it was like sort of somewhere else. Like he was standing right there and didn't realize that it hit the garage. So we were like, oh my God. So he would like it to go on record that he was the closest to the lightning strike. It was about 20. It was about.
Duly noted.
It was about 20 feet away from him. It was really close. There we go. Thank you. Kaboom.
You know what? Karaji's going to want to call him up for a quote.
I think
definitely.
so.
Well, I sent pictures and I told Karaji that we
shout out to MG, by the way.
Scooped him because it came to my house. So listen to this. This was so funny. So we sort of get over the shock. So we didn't know that it hit our garage. We sort of get over the shock of the set, the impact of that.
The shock.
The shock. Oh, sorry. Actually, that was not on purpose. We go back to work. We both go back to work. We're working. And about 5 minutes later, there's all these fire trucks on my street, and I seriously still don't put it together. I go outside, I'm thinking like someone's like ill, like I'm thinking it's a medical emergency. So I got on my street. There's all these fire trucks out there. The whole neighborhood comes outside and they start working towards me, like with all the axes and all the stuff. And I was like, what's going on? And they said, report of a fire and lightning strike, 17 Crest Ave. And now all the fans know where to come find me, by the way. But
they were all invited to your pool earlier this
that's
summer,
true.
So.
Yeah, that's true. All of Melrose knows where I live, and I just don't realize it. So there's a report of lightning, and I said, no, like, no, oh my God, I'm so sorry. No, nothing got hit here. And so then I'm mad at all the neighbors. I'm like, who called the fire department? This is so embarrassing. And I'm saying I'm talking to the guys. I'm like, I'm so sorry. This is so embarrassing. Do you mind if we take a look around? I said, sure, but oh my gosh, what a waste of your time. I'm so sorry. This is so embarrassing. So they go around, and then one of them starts coming back up our driveway, and he's like, yeah, your garage totally got hit by lightning. Come and I'll show you. And it's like, oh my God. So there's two like pretty charred marks, and we have the lights like everybody else has. Those are blown out all over our patio, and
oh wow! So
everything's blown out there. I don't know what we lost. I know we lost. There's several points of electricity. All the lights outside are blown out. The garage is all blown out. I don't know yet about our pool filter. That's what I'm nervous about. So all the electricity outside is blown out. I don't know if that's going to come back or not. We lost a guitar amp and a laptop.
Oh no!
Yeah, like a lot of stuff got zapped. So
was that plugged in outside or plugged in inside?
No, that was inside. That was in the where
in your house
basement, that little first room in the basement near.
But
the
you
garage.
have electricity in your garage that's connected to the house, and it somehow went through and snapped.
Yeah, it goes the garage and then under the deck and then in that little room.
It reminds me of an old All in the Family episode where Archie Bunker, like something like that happened, and then he took ashes and started putting them all over his stuff for the insurance claim. Like he wanted a new couch and a new rug. So you might want to double check and triple check all of your expensive,
all of your older stuff.
All of my old expensive stuff. Yeah, I don't have anything of value. My trophy collection is still okay. That's all I care about. So it was crazy.
Can you tell if anything else was hit? Like is it because there's a giant tree next to your garage? And I'm surprised that wasn't hit.
Right. No, that was fine. That's fine.
So it can't snake its way around the tree down to your garage. Well,
So because the garage has electricity, it hit a box, it hit an outlet in the garage, and you can see it just traveled. It traveled. That whole thing is just blown out. Yeah.
And there we are. Here you are chatting
very
away
nice
with your
fire
firefighters.
department. Yeah. I told them, I was like, you can watch your own recap on Let's Talk Melrose tonight. They were lovely. I think the fire chief probably was not psyched that I was trying to get footage while he was surveying my house, but there was a ton. There was a lot of them there today. It was a big deal.
So this is what I liked is so you got the photo ops, you got the photos, and then every post I saw on social media was said, find out more tonight at 8:30 on Let's Talk Melrose. Way to put the show first,
That's
Jen.
it. That is it.
I had no idea if my house was still standing or even my husband, but I got the footage.
Well, we felt it all the way over here.
We
did,
Not that we're that far, but even at the Lincoln School, they felt it in there. My kids were super excited that they knew who got struck by lightning.
I just get more and more and more popular with those kids. It's so cool. It's so cool. Yeah, my daughter at the high school came home and she said, "Oh my God, the whole building shook." I was like, "Yeah, that was your house that got hit." Yeah. So anyway, it's fine. I mean, everybody's
glad everyone's safe.
I'm glad everyone's okay.
It was something though. It was literally the loudest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. I'm glad all two-legged and four-legged people and creatures are good. Safe.
Yeah. So that was exciting. That's all I got. Yeah. I know nothing else that's happening in the town today.
Well,
we have news.
Let us tell you. We're in the news segment. So that was the first thing, the lightning strike. And because Jen hasn't helped us review it, these will also be presented in random order.
I was not supposed to be here, but I changed all my plans to report this breaking news.
Give us the scoop.
Yeah.
Give us the scoop. It's hard to stay ahead of MG, but you're doing it. Anyway, so there's a new assistant superintendent of pupil and personnel services and a new coordinator of equity, diversity, and inclusion in the school system. Sam probably knows their names. I don't.
Sorry. There was a thing last night that came out at the last minute that I saw. I didn't make it. I just defer to literally anybody watching. I'm glad we have these folks, not going to lie. Mm-hmm. But I am in the CPAC Facebook page, so I'm trying to follow that conversation there as well for some color commentary on how they felt the conversation went. So I'm following along closely there. And I know nothing. I'm sorry.
But we've got some new people in leadership positions, which is nice. And one of the positions, the coordinator of equity, diversity, and inclusion, is a new position in the school. So it's nice to see some movement there and some vitalization at the top. Yes, Jen?
So I'm just pulling up the announcement now. Actually, Carrie Berman was selected. So that's a promotion from within. So that's an internal hire for assistant superintendent of personnel. And then the coordinator of equity, diversity, inclusion is India Barrows, who has a master's of education with a concentration in higher ed. And has worked in a similar role, assistant director of diversity for New England College.
Thank you, Gail.
Just seeing that now. Gail trying in for us too. Thank you. Okay, there we go. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so that's good news. So there's some new energy up top there, and then the other thing coming from the state officials, I guess they've officially extended the mask mandates for students. Staff, visitors, and public K to 12 schools, through November 1st. Yes, sorry, you know more about that, Jen? I mean, Sam, whoever you are, MG.
SG.
SG.
So I don't. I'm glad to see that we're going to stick with this mask mandate. As I said, every week, I think since I have the COVID dashboard bookmarked, and every time I refresh it, the numbers seem to go up. In the last 0 days, we've had 9 new cases. Let me just check it since an hour ago. But the thing I wanted to point out this time was that not only, people are on vigilant about, especially the elementary schools and most part of the middle school anyway, that of the unvaccinated population, there are every day the rules get not change, and there are no real rules, but they evolve, I guess. So everyone's staying on top of things, but we do have this vaccination and consent status where you go into Aspen and fill out that you what your vaccination rate is, and then if you consent to testing. So if you go to that second tab in the Google Studio, high five to the person doing this, you'll notice that of the students who have consented to test, 37.5%, so 38%, have no response. So it would just be good to know if they could just get themselves in the little pool test. We'll have a better sense of good data every single week. So please do that. Employees.
So you're asking the parents to do that? They go into Aspen and report about their students?
Yep, you put in if like your vaccination status. Also with student vaccination status, 38% have not responded to that either. Right. So it would be, we only can respond to the truth and data. Yeah. So if we want to be able to respond better to how COVID is still manifesting itself in our community, we need good data. To get to good data, we all have to participate in some aspects. So please fill that out. Go to Aspen. There are literally videos on how to do this. And then ideally people would just test so we would know. We have cases that are being found out from that pool testing. So it's working. Anyway, that's my spiel.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's great. You're making me second guess myself now because I think I did all that, but now I'm going to go back and check. I think I'm in there.
It's painful enough to remember if you've done it.
Yeah. When you said that the videos that show you how to,
you might not need the video, but it does go very clearly.
Cool. I will double check.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah,
we were definitely not ready right away. Thank you.
Oh, and then I had a passive aggressive tweet this morning for whoever is on Twitter. I don't know if you saw that. That I talked.
Yeah, it was shouting out to the world about something about get ahead of the message. I was like, right. I was trying to parse like what's behind this. Is something today, or is this just a general like shout? I felt there was like a general shouting at the world on this topic. Am I correct?
You are very correct. It's
Twitter is the correct forum, by the way.
You chose shouting at the world.
Because on Facebook, people will call you out for vague booking, and I don't have time for that. I don't have time to explain myself and where this is coming. But anyway, crisis communication is your friend. Like, have a plan, get ahead of the message, tell people what's going on. Anyway, yes.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So shoehorned right in the middle here as the next item, based on an email I received from the Y. I used to belong to the Y, so I'm still on the email list. And this might get me back in the mix. So they said, join the Y together. One adult is free in October if you use the promo code. And I think they work this out with the estate of Tom Petty because the code here is fall free, not free fall, but fall free. And you have to sign up in September. So there's only a couple of days left and you'll get one adult free for October. So I'm thinking about this because I've been thinking about getting back in the ring, as they say. And maybe now's the time to do it. Bring a friend.
Okay, you heard it here. Like, so they also say that you need people to keep you accountable. So now you've, all the tens of fans are going to keep.
Oh, you can play this back all night. I used to be a consultant. I would like to. I never committed. I'm very good at that.
Employ the buddy system. That's how you do it.
Right.
I thought you were gonna say have Tom behind you on the spin bike with his megaphone screaming at you.
Let's go.
Oh yes, Sam should be getting royalties from the Y. Yes, one great way to get started, really fun way to start working out is the spooky sprint that the Y hosts every year. That's a lot of fun because you get to exercise in costume. If that by itself is not enough to get me to exercise, nothing will. By the way, exercising in costume, and I still haven't done it, but it is a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous event. The spooky sprint. It's one of Melrose. I feel like that is like a good health thing for our community. It's a great fundraiser for the Y, and it's placemaking. The spooky sprint is a very cool event. But let me see that photo. Where do we have it?
I don't know if we have it loaded up.
I don't have one now.
But there's time. Next week. Tune in next week.
Yeah.
We right. I just want to move things along gently here because there's a couple of other items.
I have no show doc. I don't know what. I have no show doc, so I don't know what we're talking about.
What?
Keep Melrose Beautiful and Swap Day are Saturday. Yes. I don't know how I'm going to keep track of all this.
So I've got Viking Family Day over at Salem State University, so I'm going to be out of town on Saturday, and I'm sorry to miss that. But I got to give a shout out to my friend and yours, JC Ippolito, who's a professor over there, who knows that my daughter is just starting out over there as a freshman, and he keeps reaching out to me. Do we need anything? He's just such a sweet guy. Just shout out. The whole school over there is just a great vibe, a good environment, good people. So I will be at Viking Day on Saturday, but I'm not opposed to keeping Melrose beautiful.
Melrose beautiful. Beautifuler. Nice. So I know how, Melrose Beautiful is everybody kind of pitches in. You adopt a spot and you clean up trash along the way. So you do have to sign up for a location because they're trying to, still kind of some distancing protocols that they're trying to do. But I don't know as much about Swap Day. How does that work?
I have not been, but I did hear it described to me because I did ask about this. Has anybody else been to Swap Day?
No.
So
yes, I have been actually. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Do you want to give firsthand recount?
No, I want to hear what you're going to say. Then I'm going to judge you.
Could you describe it as well as the band competition? So I feel like I'm really there at Swap Day.
All right, I'm going to roll up my sleeves. So Swap Day, you basically bring things that you would like to discard but don't want to throw away. You pull up in your vehicle, and I guess there are people there to collect the things from you right then and there, so you don't even have to do it yourself.
Yes.
They then put it out on tables throughout the parking lot, and people just come around and collect the discarded items. The one story that I heard, somebody was literally moving to take a coffee pot out of their trunk, and somebody else was there to swoop it right from then and there. So
was it you? I've seen you trying to nab lamps off the.
That's an excellent guess.
One person's trash is another person's treasure. They say. Yep. That reminds me of and we're all of us in this show are into the Buy Nothing group, which is the same thing. Like keep things out of the landfill. Somebody else might want to use it. And Stephanie, my wife, and some others in the neighborhood organized a free yard sale a couple of times now in this neighborhood, which is also a lot of fun because it has all the pizzazz and excitement of getting stuff out of your house for yard sale day, but you make everything free. So you don't really have to kind of watch it so much and worry about having with price or whatever. And that has worked out very well. So I love to see stuff stay out of the landfill and continue its useful life.
Yeah. And out of the
landfill. That's
landfill.
What Tom's doing. He's staying out of the landfill and continuing his useful life.
That's exactly right.
I just connected the dots on that.
Beautiful, isn't it? It's the symmetry is overwhelming, isn't it?
Yes. So I'm going to get a little emotional.
Coast sweep? What is coast sweep?
Coast. I just added that note because I got an email as well, like Tom did. I'm a friend of the Fells, and so I get emails on what's going on. This weekend on Sunday, it's called Coast Sweep. They have a volunteer cleanup program. If you're done cleaning up Melrose and you want to clean more trash up, that's great. They're meeting at Flynn Rink at 10:30, and it'll be like a 10:30 to 3 o'clock, I think, or 2:30 in the afternoon. Cleanup of Spot Pond, the coast along Spot Pond, and that little pond that's in front of Spot Pond by Pond Street is called Quarter Mile Pond.
Now I totally have no idea where I'm going.
Spot Pond, and it's over there.
Right. What a day! What a weekend coming! I mean, we just talked about an overwhelming weekend in Melrose, and here comes another one.
So, if you want to be outdoors cleaning up on the Fells, there's opportunities there too.
I think you should offer a hike to wherever this place is for folks. Like meet Tom at 10 at Aaron
Street. And we could be up and we could walk to Flynn Rink from there in about 25 minutes. So
nice.
There you go. By the way, so Scott has some young boys who now can't be denied at the free yard sale, and then also Yeah, it also ends up in so.
It all stays in the neighborhood.
So I like to do the old school method. So my father-in-law was moving. He gave us a couch. The guys brought it in here, and we had to get rid of the old couch. So I'm like, I'm getting too old and creaky to get that stuff out. So I slide him a few bucks. Could you just get this out on the sidewalk for me? And that was my entire plan. Because, I think one big item you can go, or I don't know, you call the city. I don't even know what the procedure is. But while the guys were here, I had them get the couch. It was an old broken sleep sofa thing. It's heavy. Yeah. Like, just get it out there. I post on Buy Nothing, the neighborhood, whatever. I put a sign, free couch. Some of the neighbor kids come by and they couldn't resist. And I heard stories from different reports from different people of 4 kids carrying this up the hill. We're like a pretty steep hill here. And got it in Matt Dugan's garage, and now they're enjoying it day in and day out.
Kids got to have a place to hang out.
There is magic. There is magic on the sidewalks every week in Melrose. If you put stuff out, it goes somewhere. And I love when it doesn't go in the trash thing. Like I said, there's just
lead to Russell Park.
Yeah, Russell Park.
All roads lead to Dugan's garage.
Yes.
It goes somewhere. That stuff goes somewhere, and somebody's happy about it. Like someone's thrilled to have that couch or whatever.
Totally.
Yeah. They're going to have so many kids there at their garage. They may have to start putting like cones around to make sure that there's
right. Keep it orderly and organized.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. That's a good point.
Also, I see that there's a wine tasting social. I think Shampoo has been to that. Here are the details on October 16th to benefit the Permanent Scholarship Fund.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been to this thing too. And last time, pre-pandemic.
Uh-oh, what
I know where you're going with this. Go ahead.
I don't know where I'm going. Where they had the booze.
Yeah. At the golf course.
It was like a wine tasting sounds high class. So I get to this Permanent Scholarship Fund, by the way, is a fantastic asset of the community, like quite literally. So at this thing, the last time they had it in person pre-COVID, the balance in the endowment was something like $7 million. So this thing spins off real money every year. Yeah. Every Melrose High senior gets a scholarship. All you have to do is apply. If you have a senior in the class, make sure they apply. Everybody who applies gets something. And then I think based on a variety of factors, some of them can be quite substantial. There's $7 million spins off like hundreds of thousands of dollars go into this every year. In the last 3 years, they've awarded $900,000. So right there, $300,000 a year in that ballpark. But I go up to the thing, and it was like booze tasting. It was like, all of a sudden I'm tasting rum and vodka and gin and whiskey and all this stuff straight up. So that has evolved. I don't know if they're doing that this year or if it's just wine tasting.
We'll have to go and find out.
My memory of the last time we did this a couple of years ago, there was some karaoke happening after.
Right, exactly. We ended up karaokeing afterwards.
I believe Sam Harriman was there.
At the
what?
Yeah.
I wasn't there that year. Yeah. Wow.
I wasn't at this other thing.
In fact,
no, you weren't. We went. You convinced us to
we
went with VFW afterwards.
Oh my God.
With Elvis.
Yep.
And
God,
and that's Eugenia Walsh.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and our former co-host and always good friend Eugenia's mom was there.
Mom, it was fun actually.
That's one of my early pandemic memories. Is I texted Sam because Stephanie and I were walking downtown and they had canceled karaoke at the BFW, and I was like, "This is getting serious now." They were shutting things down, but it was literally like when nobody knew what was happening. They stopped the NBA. They stopped the NBA game in the middle, and then like VFW karaoke got canceled, and you knew we were at a new level.
Yeah, we haven't lived since. No fun since then.
Well, let's go wine tasting and then just see what happens.
Oh, okay, I like that idea. And then the other thing, one last thing. So I copied and pasted directly the text that we got from Everbridge about the flu clinic. So I'm just going to put the full text here. It says, "Good evening, Melrose. This is Let's Talk Melrose. Melrose and Bear Paul Roder are reminding you to get your flu shot."
Wait,
we need. Hey, what if we have an alert from time to time? We need to get the word out. We might need to get plugged into this system.
show tonight.
Yeah.
So anyway, get your flu shot. That's still
Yeah.
also very important.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it's tomorrow. So that's good to know from 3 to
Wednesday,
6.
yep.
Wow.
At Memorial
walk-ins
Hall.
Welcome. Yep.
Memorial Hall. Yeah. There you go. So the flu
Very
shot,
good. Yep.
the flu shot message is out there. I got a text and a phone call from CVS. It's time for your flu shot. So it sounds like it's an important thing. And they're saying that you can do flu shot if you haven't been vaccinated. Then you can do that as well at the same time. There's no problems. So
Oh wow.
get the shots. Load up for the winter.
Yeah.
We should give shots for shots. Hey.
There we
Yeah.
go.
No kidding.
It's as easy as that.
No kidding.
All right, let me know if you can hear this. No?
No.
Oh, I don't know how we're gonna end the show.
Okay. What was the plan? Because we'll just improv something. Because it is time to go.
Yes,
Okay.
it is time to go. All right, so
It's really
I have
time to
to,
go.
have to play the intro video again, I think.
I would say we can run the video backwards maybe and see. We can't run it backwards, but we'll say goodbye while we outro with the intro.
We'll see you
All
around
right, see you
town,
around
everybody.
town.